Meow. Huples cat. Still had a haircut. Anyways, just wanted to talk about the two videos I did on politics. The second video is actually the end of the first video, and I reshot it and re-edited it because I think it had something to say, and I think I had something to say. But then it dawned on me that it's all very well criticising other people's work. Let's face it, that's what we do in life most of the time when we criticise. But I figured I should actually do my own creed. So I found 3 easily available online prepper creeds. The first one is the big one, which I dissected and put up on the video, both those videos. The second one's a much briefer one, which actually I've kind of like, and the other one was just a one-liner. And I think one of the ones I found online for a creed for what we do, the one I really liked was the Ranger one. I think that's really good. But I decided if I'm going to pot-shot somebody's creed, I should put on my own so you guys can have fun pot-shotting at me. So without further ado, this is Huples Cat 2018, my Prepper Creed. We are a family and we try to help others and survive whatever life reveals to us. Yeah, so survival is the main goal of prepping, but it's also depends on what that level of survival is. Whatever life throws at you, whether it's oranges or lemons. For example, Pepper Potpourri did a nice video on winning one of those lotteries. Now, a lottery is a tax on the poor, and most people that win lotteries have really hard experiences because of it. Sounds crazy, I know, but it's something to be thinking about. We accept responsibility for our own lives and for the lives of others. Yeah, I like to blame other people for my failings and things that go wrong. I think we all do that. It's called being a human being. But to actually embrace your own errors and to be honest with them, I think is a very important thing. What about accepting responsibility for the life of others? Do you? Do you accept responsibility, if you can, for how your lifestyle is impacting people, human beings elsewhere across the globe? That's a tough one if you think about it. It actually is so open-ended, all of these, that you've got degrees of this. Because obviously in a major global SHTF disaster, the definitions of family, definitions of responsibility are going to really, really narrow in. But in generally speaking, in the modern life, you are responsible. One of the things we do is we use bullfrog energy to buy offshoots for all of the electricity and the gasoline and the natural gas we do. Not everybody can afford to do that. We can, so we do. And I think that's one of the things. People will say, well, I'm not doing that because nobody else is going to bother. And you hear this all the time in climate change. China and Russia and India are the big problem. No, no, no. We in the West, Britain, America, Canada, Europe, we triggered this. We have done this. We are responsible. And to now claim that because they've grown, other people are doing it worse than what we're doing it, doesn't actually take away our moral responsibility to try and live better lives. So that's why I like this one. We will endeavour to tread gently on this beautiful earth as it is our only home. Well, it is our only home. It is beautiful. It remains beautiful, though parts of it are quite severely stressed by us. And living a sustainable life is not possible, but living a much more sustainable and gentle life, I think, is definitely possible. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy going for a walk in the forest much more than I'd ever enjoy going on a business trip to Las Vegas. And yet our society encourages us to go to Las Vegas, but not to necessarily go for a 6-hour walk in a forest. Bit of a shame, really. I think we're living the wrong lives. We will always seek to help others whenever we safely can, to the best of our ability. Yes, absolutely, we should be doing that. We know our true meaning is the continued love others give us, and we will seek to improve their mental, physical and emotional lives whenever and however we can. Yeah, we should. You shouldn't go out of your way to upset people. I upset people online. It's very hard to communicate with text, and sometimes you're in a bad mood or you're not conscious of what you're actually writing. But whenever you can and you've got control of it, do not be but be more the kiss on the cheek, especially to your enemies. I'm not Christian, but Jesus was pretty specific about turning the other cheek rather than picking up the AK-47, right? We know the future is unknown and nothing is certain, so we will seek to grow in ways that help life in all its wonderful forms flourish and then achieve a peaceful death. That's coming out of my nursing background and my vegan background and my greenie background. I really do actually think that's a fundamental of prepping and preparedness, is to actually cherish plant life, mineral life, animal life, all forms of life, because you are dependent upon it. I am dependent upon it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see deer in a forest and all the rest of it. You don't necessarily want to kill them all, right? And if you don't need to kill them at all, then why bother? And if you do need to kill them and you can, then take the old and the sick, right? Everything lives and everything dies, including us. And I think preparing for our own deaths and the deaths of our loved ones is actually a vital part of prepping that is often overlooked. That's why I'm directly talking to those psychopaths out there who think they're men. We know there is much more good than evil in the world. We will always seek to be good and to fight all evil whenever and however we can. And that means more than a Facebook like or the odd comment online. That means actually occasionally maybe putting yourself at harm's risk. For example, Hurricane Katrina, the lies about the gun confiscation, the lies about the mass lootings and rapings that were going on in the arena there, none of which were true, or if they were true for one or two people. But because of the aggression and the lies that were portrayed over Hurricane Katrina, people were killed in response to the threat of the black, mainly, mob, which really wasn't the case there, and there's no actual evidence of that ever happening at all. And yet to this day I know people online fundamentally believe there were rapings and murders by gangs inside the arena in the Superdome in New Orleans, and there wasn't any. So it's interesting. So perpetrating and passing along information that harms others for no good reason would come under this. We know love, life and happiness are the only things that really matter, and we will seek to spread that joy to all others who experience emotions, including other species, as we know we are bound to them by our very genetic material. Yeah. Mice have a lot of human DNA, and humans have a lot of my DNA. The strands and the chemicals I'm talking about, the very fibre of our being, we're connected to every living creature on the planet, which is really cool. Now, I don't know for sure if we're actually connected to the small bacteria that live at the under the deep oceans. I wouldn't be surprised if we are, but we're certainly on the surface and the shallow oceans. Every single animal, every single plant, we share considerable amounts of their DNA, and I think it's about time we owned up to that, and we need to start cherishing them as much as we cherish our own children, right? I think we need to be going vegan where we can. I think we need to be not inflicting pointless cruelty on conscious beings just because we don't want to pay 5 cents more for a burger. There's all sorts of ways on an individual level and as a society way we can actually respect and love people. And even in SHTF, we can respect and love and respect life where we can. I think it's an important thing to actually say as part of my creed, which is why I'm putting this up. So it ends with, we are human beings and we seek to be proud of that. Yeah, I think humans have got an awful lot of goodness in us, and I think we've done an awful lot of great things. And I think we're spending far too much of our media attention, far too much of our prepping attention on the bad things. We're not spending it on community and making music together and having fun online. Now, I know a lot of my subs, that's not true. You are doing that to a large degree, and I'm trying more and more to do that to a large degree. Because I think it's really important that we do live full lives and we're happy, and that we share that happiness and life and joy. Now, obviously, if you come at me with your AK-47, I'm going to fight back, right? I cherish my own life as much as I cherish yours, and obviously I cherish my own more than I cherish yours, but I can do both. We've got that capacity inside of us, and it's time we owned up to it. So that's it. That's my Prepper's Creed, Preparedness Creed, 2018 Huples. Feel free to pass it along. Feel free to misquote it. Feel free to make up your own. I was going to kind of make this a challenge, but I decided not to. But I'd really like to see you guys, if you want to change this or alter it, or actually write out an actual pledge, a creed that instills the values that you have as a human being and as a prepper, because I think we need to understand that preppers are human beings and human beings can be preppers. And if you're going to self-identify in a specific way, you need to actually hold truth to your own inner being. And this is the way of doing it. Anyway, that's it. Remember, in SHTF tomorrow will always be worse than today, so prepare accordingly. Toodles.